What is up, guys? BboneCapone back with another gameplay review. In this gameplay, I will be reviewing. I think he played Zarya, Winston, and Phara throughout. So I'm gonna go over all three of them. Once again, I am muting the sound because I'll be honest, there's a few callouts in this game and things that were said that triggered me a little bit. So I don't want to hear them again because it was very, very questionable. So we're looking to make a team comp right now. On Kings Row Defense, I think Mei is very, very good. The times Mei is not good on first point Kings Row Defense is if they're running, or Kings Row Defense in general, is if they are running like a big, like a really mobile comp, like Diva, Winston, Genji, Tracer, things like that, like a dive comp pretty much, which is what is Diva's Bane pretty much, is, or Mei's Bane is dive comps. So you guys' comp doesn't look too bad off the start. The Ana, I'm not so much a fan of Ana on defense anymore, unless you're running a triple tank comp. Because Ana on defense is, like, it's still very good, and then she offers so much, but there's just certain things that, like Zen's Discord and Zen's ult are, I think, more effective for defensive holds when you're usually on the defensive, like, when you're usually reacting to ults versus initiating on them. But that's okay. So you're playing Zarya here. I know I did a Zarya gameplay, guys. I'm sorry. He does play a variety of things, so it's not just Zarya. I do get to go over a few different things in this gameplay. So we're getting into it. Setting up the choke. This is fine. Mei needs to be ready to drop a good wall. You need to be more up here. There's no reason to be standing here. Like, you have shield. Go get some charge off them. Go get some damage. Like, you're standing really far back for some reason right now, and I don't know why. You need to be a little more up right now. So now they're coming in. You try and throw bubble. Don't get much charge. This is really messy already. This fight got really messy really fast because they came in from two different sides and you guys just kind of stood there. Um, you need to work. Okay. I'm sorry. You need to work on your bubble usage already. I'm going to say that you haven't gotten more than 20 charge, which is really, really bad. You should have be over 80 already right now. Finally, you get some good charge off that bubble. This is, I'm not gonna lie, guys, it's really hard for me to commentate on this fight specifically because this fight was super chaotic and it was just kind of like people were everywhere. There was no real anything. One thing you need to do is you need to focus Mercy more. She is flying in the middle of this battle and you guys are not focusing her properly. You try and get a bubble there and save him. Genji's already got ult and he's gonna roll you guys over, which sucks. Yeah. So yeah, one thing you need to focus on is your target prioritization. You're kind of just shooting directly in front of you, but there's more opportune targets you can shoot at from the exact same spot you're at. So work on your target prioritization is the first thing I would say, because you're shooting at like a Winston bubble when there's a Mercy just outside of it on your right, or things like that. One thing I'm going to talk about this video is because one thing they did run on the enemy team in this first point is they do have a Widowmaker. So because they have a Widowmaker, just the fact that she's there, you have to adjust your play style a little bit. Okay, you got those two really nice bubbles. You saved yourself and one other person's, and you got lots of charge, which is good. You need to focus down the Winston. You need to bubble. Oh, you didn't get it in time. Oh, he jumped in front of it. That's okay. The nano boost was questionable, definitely. So you're looking to force fight here. So you threw your Graviton Surge there, and it got deflected by Genji, which sucks, but even if it didn't get deflected by Genji, that, you should never have used the Graviton there. You'd already lost a couple members. That Nano was running out. You had no help. Yes, you're 100 charge Zarya, but with the change in how the meta works, and with the increase in ult timers, like how much longer it takes to get an ult, you cannot throw them willy-nilly, especially something as big as a Zarya ult. So I still feel your positioning is very, it's kind of all over the place. Like you play really aggressively when you have no charge, and then you randomly back off when you're starting to get charge or when you actually have bubbles up. When you have bubbles up is when you need to be aggressive with Zarya. When your bubbles are down, like now, you're playing a little more passive. This is fine. And then you get melted. Holy Dinah. But, I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't yawning all morning, and then all of a sudden I decided to start yawning when I finally start recording. It's ridiculous. So anyway, so far, like, the big thing you've been doing is you're going aggressive when you don't have charge and you don't have bubbles up, then you're going passive when you have bubbles up. When you have bubbles up is when you need to play aggressively. Um, Walking off the map there, I can't really say much. That's just straight up your own situational awareness. This first round's been kind of a wash, but the one thing I'm going to talk about in this round is I'm going to go back to this. And we're going to go back to right around where that Widow's up top, and I know someone made a comment on it. So, when you're in a spot like this, guys, I'm going to use this as my example. So Widow has a sight line right now, and her sight line is this area along this alleyway. She has a high ground advantage. She has a great sight line across this entire alleyway that you guys are in. So you guys don't want to fight the payload here. You want to let the payload come up and come around the corner, and as it hits the corner is where you guys want to try and take this fight. And you need to communicate this to your team if you're in comms, or you need to try and communicate this so that your team fights as you hit the corner, because even if Widow moves over to the other high ledge here, she can't see around the corner very well unless she drops down, which then becomes vulnerable. So you need to, whenever there's a Widow in the game, on your team or the other team, you need to focus around sight lines. And where is Widow most effective in these sight lines? If you have, if you're on their team, yes, you want to push this aggressively right now because you have Widow's line of sight. If you're on defense, though, you want to try and fight in shorter lines of sight. So she does not have the same advantage. So this first corner that you're about to come up to here, the corner after that that's a little farther back, you need to find these spots so that Widow cannot be effective. Because you guys are fighting right now in Widow's line of sight, which gives her an effective area to do damage from. So that's just something I want to touch on real quick. I'm going to fast forward again. I'm going to fast forward to midway into the round. You're still, one thing I'm noticing is that your barriers, you really need to practice those, because your barriers, I haven't seen you over 50 charge other than once, and you died as soon as you were high charge because you just went deep for some reason. Soldier singles you out here with his ult, which really sucks. I'm so sorry, guys. I've been up for like 2 hours and I haven't been yawning all morning, and all of a sudden now I'm yawning because I'm talking. It's great. Your bubbles, you need to focus on those. When you guys are playing Zarya, your bubbles need to be getting you at least 30 charge per bubble. You want the max 40, but that's not always going to happen. People do react to them, but you need to be better with your bubbles. Both your personal and your projected bubble have been very all over the place. One other big thing you need to focus on, because I'm seeing you do it lots, is you need to grow your awareness of the map. I think you need to even go into a custom game or in some more quick play and just work on understanding the maps better, because backing up and going into that room should be something that should come naturally, and that's something you really need to focus on. So you guys are in full stall mode here. This is how it goes. You throw out a Graviton, trying to do some damage. You unfortunately can't really do much. You walk back into the Winston bubble. Your awareness and where you are, like what's around you, is something you really need to focus on, because you're not seeing where the corners are that you can hide from divas, or you're not seeing where the Winston bubble is so you can stay out of it so you can do damage, or you're not, I feel like your awareness is very all over the place. Throwing in the bubble right away. I would have gone to a more stall character here. You get booped off, which really sucks. That really sucks, especially because you just got Lucio. But going to like a Winston right now would have been huge, just so you can get back to the point faster. Especially now that you've used your ult, you don't really have it. Like, Zarya's not that good at stalling, to be perfectly honest. You missed your bubble there again, and that actually cost you to die a lot quicker, because that could have been a little bit longer. You could have stayed alive, but you die a lot quicker because you missed the bubble. But, so that was a really messy first round from your team as a whole. You guys weren't really together ever. You guys kind of just let them walk in, and you guys constantly trickled. Trickling is still the biggest issue you're going to run into. That was a weird little glitch. So, going on the offense, you guys obviously need to do some serious work here. I know I listened to the comments earlier, and you had a couple people asking for certain spots. You're looking at Reaper here. Reaper would not have been a good option. They didn't really have anything for Reaper to bust. Like, yeah, the Winston, but they still had a Diva. And if Winston's smart, he's not going to go with that. I'm okay with this Winston pick, because one thing that was really hurting you guys was the Mercy and the Genji. One thing Winston's really good at is against hard to hit targets like Genji, like Mercy, like Tracer, because you don't need to aim with Winston. If you're on the same screen as them, you're gonna hit them with the Tesla cannon. So that's a huge thing, and I like this adjustment by you. This is a really good decision to try and change it up and go to something to deal with the Genji and deal with the Mercy a little bit better. Overall, team's comp's not too bad. I I really think, guys, that the only time you should be running McCree right now is that if they have a flanker that's causing you guys a lot of issues, Tracers specifically for that, but Genji to an extent as well. If you're just looking for a pure hit scan DPS, Soldier's better in 9 times out of 10 unless you're a god tier McCree. You can hit your headshots. Like, I got a buddy that plays. I play Soldier better than he does. When we go into McCree, I get absolutely rolled. He plays an Unreal McCree, and I'm fine with him playing McCree even if we only have one hit scan. So, McCree can be useful, but he's very much more limited right now. He's more situational than Soldier. Soldier still, as an overall hit scan, is better. McCree only excels at certain areas. So right off the bat here, you're playing Winston. You see Genji. You need to work on your jumps. That was a really poor jump. And then right here, you randomly drop your bubble. There's no need to drop your bubble there. And what this leads to is now you stand here for 15 seconds pretty much and not doing anything. You're not even poking at the choke. One other thing you need to focus on, guys, if you ever want to play like a flanker or anyone who wants to jump over the top and dive into a team, look at where the team is first. You still have no idea where anyone on their team is. And you're going to dive in like this. So this is super ballsy. Luckily, your team follows up with you. You're doing some good work. You're in threat. You jump back out, which is really good. You jump back to your team. Really effective use of your jumps there. That's how you want to play Winston. Get in until you're threatened, then get out. Winston is very much your jumps on like a 5-second cooldown. Once you jump back out, your bubbles should be getting close to up, and then you can jump back in once your jump's up again. So you have a really nice fight there. You jumped in and jumped out effectively to cause havoc in the back line as much as you could. Yeah, you may not kill anyone, but you caused a lot of havoc. I like what you're doing here, that you're trying to focus this Genji as Winston. That's why you picked him, so that's good, because their Genji caused you guys a lot of problems in the last round. And I like that. You need to focus on everything, but Genji and Mercy should be your big focuses, and Ana, obviously. Soldier you can still get at, too. So, overall, not a bad push. I wish you would have peeked around the corner a little bit more before you jumped over that wall, because if you jump over that wall and you jump into 5 of them, even with bubble, you're going to die before your jump comes back up. So you need to, like, your jumps was good, but you need to be more aware of where you're going to jump. When you're playing Winston, one thing you need to always be looking at is, where am I going to jump to, and where am I going to jump to get back out? Like, you always need to be thinking about these two things as Winston. It makes it very difficult, but also very effective. You need to work on your jumps. They're pretty poor. I like this push up here. You could have waited a little longer on your ult. So I'm going to go back and show why I like what you did here. Fast forward. So you know you have your ult coming up. You use bubble here. You're just pushing up with your team for a sec. So you know you have your ult coming up. You have a really bad jump here. But right here, we're going to stop it. So you know Genji is pushing up with his ult. And you have your ult now. So there is 1, 2, 3, I think there's 4 of them here. There's lots of people. So there's a huge team here. Your Tesla, if your jump would have been a little more effective, you could have hit all 4 of these people with your ult. What you need to do here is keep pushing forward and just hold down your fire and watch. Like, you don't even have to look at them. You can just walk forward because they can't get out of your range. And just watch your health. And as soon as this gets down to like that 100 mark, getting really critical, then you pop Primal. I felt like you pop Primal really early here. Like, if I'm watching your health, if you guys are watching health, yeah, you still had 300 health. You could have easily waited another second or two to pop it. So you're continuing to do some damage. You need to focus someone here. One thing you can do as Winston is you can try and focus on one person and just murder them. Yeah, I get you're trying to do that. You're trying to cause all the havoc you can. But you need to be a little more focused. So you go there, and you died. Someone go back again. I'm sorry, guys. So you drop bubble. Right here, you drop bubble. But you're not looking at your health. You have 80 health. Even with bubble, your bubble has 800 health. 800. Soldier can melt that in a clip and a helix rocket. So that 800 goes down to 0 in about, I think it's like 2 seconds. Maybe less. I don't know. It's really low. But you see their entire team is right here. You need to back up. Oops, wrong color. You need to back up, get your heals, then jump back in. Because you did that sometimes as Winston. Here you did not. And guess what? Because you didn't back up properly, your shield gets melted, and you insta-die. Yes, you would start to get some healing, but you hadn't gotten enough yet. So you need to really, when you're playing Winston, guys, is that you need to be really aware of what you have up and what is effective at what time. You need to be paying attention to what your shield's at, where your jump's at, because Winston is super effective at disrupting a backline, and yes, he is tank. Yes, he is a tank, but a lot of things will melt Winston. A Discord plus a soldier can melt him in one clip, or an Anabomb plus soldier and like a diva in the mix, you're gonna die. Like there's a lot of ways Winston can die if not played effectively. So you need to be super effective with when you jump in and out as Winston. So you jump in here, you're causing some havoc. Good, you focus the Mercy. This is huge. You need to be focusing that Mercy, and you're trying to. Your jump was not bad. You guys clean up the Mercy, because you guys must know Mercy has res here. Because you guys need to be... One thing that you guys can do, especially at lower ranks, you get a nice kill here, jump onto him, he gets a Discord, nice kill. Perfect. So that was a good play. I didn't have any major issues with that. So one thing you guys can do, anyone can do this, and you guys can all practice this, doesn't matter who you're playing, what you're playing. I'm just going to say that was a really nice bubble. Yeah, I don't think your team is in any danger, but it's really nice that you help protect them. So what you guys can look for is you guys need to look for, kind of be paying attention to ults. So here's how I look at it. So if your team, let's say everything's going even, no one's really died yet, or let's say you guys have lost the first fight and you guys have died, you can expect that their ults are going to be up faster than yours. Maybe not their support ults, but definitely their offensive ults. If your team's doing a lot of damage but no one's dying, like you're sitting there with Tesla or you're playing DPS or anything and you're seeing lots of damage being done but no one's dying, expect support ults. And you can reciprocate the same, that if you see that you're taking, like your team's taking a lot of damage, use your tab. Check what your ults are, and you can usually mirror. If things are even in a game, you can usually mirror that, okay, so we have both of our support ults. Not a lot of people have died on either side, so they probably have their support ults. So be expecting of those and calculate those. Like, no one's really dying. You guys have to know they have Mercy ult. You need to be focusing the Mercy. That needs to be your top priority. You guys had, some support ults, so you know they have theirs, or you have some offensive ults, so you can expect them to have theirs unless you've already seen them use it recently. So trying to keep track of your team's ults and the enemy team's ults is a huge thing. Coordinating ults is also massive. Pinging it when you're close or you want to use it. So focus on that. Really, really poor jump. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. This is the last time I say it. If you're going to play Winston, you need to practice your jumps, because your jumps in this game look like you haven't played Winston, you haven't practiced him. If you ever want to watch someone who's really good with their jumps, go look at, I think it's Milo. In the World Cup, the Koreans, I forget who it was now, he played an Unreal Winston. His jumps were always on point. Everything was perfect about that. So you can use that to look. So here, you jumped over the blizzard, and you could have focused supports, but you walked back into the blizzard, so target selection, back to that, was very poor. Now you realize they have a Bastion. I think you guys called it out before. I didn't actually say it. Now that you know they have a Bastion, I would be switching off Winston right now. To be honest, I would be going to a diva. Because the thing with Winston is... Oh, you go to Phara, which is decent against Bastion as well. That's okay. But the thing with Winston, and Roadhog has the same problem, is Bastion will melt you because you're not mobile enough to get around him. Like, yeah, Winston can jump, but Bastion, you can't kill Bastion fast enough, even if you jump at him. So you go to Phara here, and this is a good trade because your Genji actually went off, so it worked out. You land some really nice direct hits. You get caught out by the Bastion, and this is why Phara is not super effective on this last point, because you can't stay out of range of him. But you guys get a good finish, so good. So both teams have finished the map once. Now you're on to the second round. So you need to be a little more. I'm so sorry, guys. Your team needs to be more together, I think, would be the biggest thing on that first push. Because if you're expecting, well, you guys are on offense now. So you want to play Phara. You've shown that you want to play Phara because I think Phara could be very effective unless they're going back to Soldier, in which case you're going to get blown out of the sky because they will have a Zenyatta probably again. Oh, no, they're running Ana, so they might not. But Ana's still pretty good against you. So you guys are humming and hawing about what to play here. And I get triggered right here, guys, because this guy picks Ana. And guys, if you're ever going to run a triple tank comp, you need to have Ana in that triple tank comp. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you have to play healer and someone goes into a triple tank, or if anything like that, if they're ever a triple tank comp, you have to have an Ana on your team. And I'm pounding on my chair arms because this triggered me. Because Ana, the reason why Ana is needed in a triple tank comp is because her burst healing is unparalleled. Her grenade is AoE, which increases Lucio's healing. Everything about her kit makes it so good with tanks, especially because they're easy to hit, so it's easy for her to get heals. And she's healing. Her healing per second is unparamount, unmatched. It's matched by Mercy without a grenade. As soon as you have grenade up, though, she clears them out of the water. But the team insists on going to Zenyatta, and I get triggered. So anyway, back to the game. You're looking to do the same thing with Winston. Dive in. You have Genji to support you. Once again, you haven't peeked around the corner. You don't know where their team is. And guess what? It costs you. Because, yeah, you jump in, but they have a Reinhardt up top and someone else is up top. Well, actually, it doesn't cost you right away. You end up dying, but your team was in there with you. But you need to be knowing where you're going to jump. You're jumping blindly, and that's how you die. Jumping blindly as you get higher is get punished very quickly. You need to know where you're going to jump to if you're going to play Winston. So, continue on with the Winston here. Yeah, your team needs to regroup right now, and you're backing up. This is good. You're trying to force the regroup. Your Genji's sitting behind them, and he needs to not die, which he does, unfortunately. But this is good that your team's at least doing the regroup, and this is huge, guys. Regrouping as a team is so big because, unfortunately, you get trickled here because Genji dies. So, you want to jump, but you don't because Genji's dead. Now, Roadhog goes Rambo. And this is where, even if you're in comms or not in comms, doesn't matter. Spam group up. You need to spam this because you guys have trickled 2 deaths now. Right here, you should have just gotten out yourself because you're the only one that died to the Diva Bomb, I think. You need to... I'm sorry. I know you wanted to make the hero play and protect everyone, but you didn't jump, and you didn't get out of range, so you died. So you guys are still trickling deaths. You got 30 seconds now. You've wasted a minute. You need to be 1 chance. That's all you got. So Phara, I don't mind because I don't think they had a soldier. I don't remember. Zenyatta's focusing you, but Zenyatta's alone, and you see this. So this is really good. You focus out the Zenyatta because he was very alone up there. You try and stay alive up here. This is fine. You're poking around chokes. You're fair play right now. I'm liking this. I like where you are. You're hovering over. You're not in danger. You're avoiding people. The one thing with your fair play though is that you're still randomly using your boop. You need to have a reason to use your boop as Phara. You can't just throwing your boop out at any time doesn't do your team any good really. Because there might be a more effective reason to use it in like 10 seconds or less. So your team takes the point, and this is really good. I really like what happens here is that your team, you have you, Roadhog pushing up, forcing the issue. You're trying, see that was, if your boop would have been on point, that could have been really good, but it wasn't. Nice target selection. You pick off with 2 direct hits on the Mercy. You did that really well. You managed your fuel a little poorly, but you didn't get caught out for it, so that's okay. I really like how you have 2 people on card and you guys are trying to keep them at base so they can't contest. This is really good. This is a good way, especially when you get in overtime situations. If you get a clean wipe and you can be effective without dying up there, this is super good. So you're keeping nuisance, you're causing a problem. Once again, your boop was not necessary there. It didn't really do anything. Yeah, it pushed her into the cart and maybe it helped kill her, but like right here, you could have booped Reinhardt off the edge there. Like, here, I'm going to go back. I'm going to show you guys this. Because I point at my screen and I realize you guys can't see my screen. So it's not super effective. So you're pushing up here. You're causing havoc. You're being an issue, which is really good. You're not getting caught, though. So this is really good use of Phara. You're not dying, and you're causing them, like the Roadhog's trying to deal with you, but he can't, obviously, because he missed his hook, and he's not hitting them. So you're doing really well here. So right here, unnecessary boop on the Mei. And what could have happened is that, so you focus down the Mei, and then right here. If you still had boop, whoops, sorry. If you still had boop, throw it right there. Reinhardt goes off. Your team can focus down the Reinhardt down here. Roadhog, he gets booped off back. He can't do anything. He can't look for a back hook or a flanker hook. That boop delays him another 10 seconds. Luckily, you guys still end up doing well in this fight, so it's not the end of the world. But that's something that is huge. If you would have had it there instead of using it unnecessarily, you could have made a huge difference. But at the end of the day, because you didn't boop, you get hooked by Roadhog and you die. So, if you had that boop up, that could have made all the difference in you guys continuing a harder snowball. And you're not dying. You're still holding on to your barrage as well. You've been holding on to this for a while and you need to use it. You could have been over halfway to another one. And you might have been able to use 2 in this push if you would have been more effective with it early. So your team's in a fight. You guys killed the Mercy again, which is really good. Everything's being popped. Zen is for some reason behind your team. So you kill him really quick. No point in meleeing. You're never going to as Phara. Get up in the air. You needed a barrage. You need a barrage. You need to not be barraging. Okay, your team's still killing them, so it's okay. You take the diva. Float. Perfect. Really nice use of your floating there to stay out of diva's bomb. And then you ult. And I would have focused ulting behind you, because if you would have ulted the soldier first, if you would have seen that, like, once again, your target selection, you're tunnel visioning a little bit, I feel, is that you tunnel vision a little too much, and if you would have hit the soldier and the mercy instead of the diva, that could have been a different fight. You probably wouldn't have died, and you probably would have melted those back two lines if you would have immediately ulted them instead of focusing the diva first and trying to turn. So a little change that could have made a massive difference. So decision making is something you really need to focus on, because you're indecisive, I feel. And this is something huge for you guys, is that be concise and make your decision. You may not always make the right decision, but you need to understand when you're making the right and the wrong decision. But if you're one thing that kills a lot of people and that keeps a lot of people low, like one thing that the guy that I'm recording here, it's Dark Unicorn, I think it is, yeah, is that he is really indecisive a lot of the time. And what this indecisiveness leads to is their team makes a decision and you're indecisive and then you die. Or you're at a disadvantage. Be decisive with your decision making, guys. If you want to play aggressive and you want your team to go in, be decisive with that. If you want your team to play passive, make the reactionary plays, make that decision. Be decisive though. You guys, especially at lower ranks, I noticed this. As you get higher, like once you get to Master, Grandmaster, people are very crisp with their decision making usually. And you make that decision, right or wrong, and you go with it. And usually, even if it's the wrong decision, it can work out if your team's crisp and decisive with it and their team isn't. Because if they're still deciding what they want to do, and you guys have already made the decision, it gives you that advantage of surprise even. So once again, I feel you're too far back on Diva. Your team decides to play a little farther back. But you need to be close to your Rhine. So they went high ground. So you guys are fine with backing off to choke. You're kind of looking for someone to shield, but no one's really taking damage. So you need to be hitting your right clicks, or your alternate fires. Late shield, but you still get charge off of it, so that's okay. Once again, a not necessary shield on the Reinhardt because he was backing off. Nice job to focus the Genji who's flanking. This is good that you focus this, and you do this throughout this round. You could have maybe saved him. I don't know if your shield would have been up time. It was close. Get the shield on Reinhardt, get some charge. Your shield was once again very unnecessary because you did not need it. But you're still overall doing... Your shields are still something you really need to focus on if you want to play more Zarya. Your team resets. You guys really should have dealt with that Reinhardt, but you guys leave him, and this could cost you. If he comes back over there and he gets some health and he flanks on you, Reinhardt can be devastating as a flanker. I do like that you're focusing this Genji out because he was a problem, and although you're not playing Winston, Zarya is still very effective if you can charge properly. You're not really in an effective range here. You're kind of just walking around and not doing damage, but not shielding or doing anything. You're just kind of standing there. So it's not super effective. You also need to change your target selection again, back to that Mercy when you're right beside Soldier. So I'm actually going to go back and talk about target selection here. So this is good target selection on the Genji. You're kind of in a weird flanking spot, but you do have a team still right there. So right here, you get Soundberry, you push up. Okay, you never really had a shot. Like, you could have... I'm just thinking about this. So, okay, we're going to go from here. So, you see Mercy. Mercy's sitting right here. Soldier's here. Anna's right behind him. As this play plays out, you push up. Oops. You push up. And you go forward. And you focus the Soldier. Mercy's pocketing the Soldier. Like, Mercy's... This is right here. So, if you walk forward, but you walk this way instead of this way, now Mercy's singled out. She can try and fly back to your team, but you're close enough that you should be able to do a lot of damage to her. But instead, you focus the Soldier. So your target selection is really poor. Like, you know Mercy's still over there. You could easily turn on her. She's separated. Turn on the Mercy. Instead, letting her live, and, like, you back up to your team because you start taking a lot of damage, so that's fine. But you could have been able to kill the Mercy there. Mercy's still isolated, and I think your team does end up getting her here. You get a nice pick there. They do pick off the Mercy for being isolated. So you need to... A big thing at lower ranks, guys, is picking off positional mistakes. Positional mistakes are huge. There's a lot of people at this ELO, that thing is platinum-ish, that are good mechanically. Like, their Genji was really mechanically good. But positioning or game sense is a huge thing. This was a really nice ult. I really like what you did here. You dropped a really nice ult on all their squishies. You caught just their squishies. That was a gorgeous ult. I love that ult. Well done. This should be a game. Like, this should be game right now. They waste D.Va bomb, so this should be game. You guys should have won right here. They did not have enough time to get to the point. D.Va comes in for the stall, which sucks. Focus her down, which you do. Now that D.Va's out of mech, you need to be focusing top priority. Phara right now, you're shooting at Reinhardt's shield, and there's other targets that you can hit near the shield. And you guys get cleaned up here, which really sucks, because you guys should have won that game right there. But you guys were too spread out with improper target selection, which leads to them taking that point. So that really sucked, but it happens. So, you're doing well. Like, your Zarya, you're starting to get charger. Your bubbles are getting a little bit better than they were the first time around. But they're still a little off, but they are better. So you guys need to not go to point. Don't go to point. I really hope your team doesn't go to point and get caught here. Okay, good. You guys back off, which is good. You need to be communicating. Someone needs to switch to a hit scan right now. You need a hit scan because they went to Phara. I don't know why that guy went to Reaper. That's an odd one. But I think you were trying to get the... I'm not going to fault you on that shield. Someone jumped in front. But you can't hit Phara. One thing you need to work on as well, is I noticed you do this a lot, is you need to focus on learning your max range on your laser. Because you sit just outside of your max range, and like if you're like 2 feet closer, you're inside of your range. And I know that just because I played a lot of Zarya. But you're staying just outside of it, so you need to work on that. They come in with a really nice wombo, clean you guys up. Because you guys have a Reaper now instead of a Soldier or McCree for some reason. I don't know why this guy went to that. But you can ask, that's all you can do, guys. Say, I think this would be more effective. Just remember, guys, when you're asking someone to change, like you think they're not effective, or you could give them a better pick that's in the same role, just be like, hey man, I know you're probably a really good Reaper, but like, against their team, I think Soldier or McCree would be super effective, because they have a Phara, and they have a lot of things that Soldier is really good against. Like Phara, he's really good against Reinhardt's shield, all that. So you need to throw your bomb. You're way too late in your bomb. You're looking around trying to save people from the D.Va. You need to ignore that. You need to throw your bomb, throw your bomb, throw your bomb. It was so late. So lots of times people throw their bombs preemptively, but there, your whole team had flooded in, and you didn't throw it. You knew your whole team was there. If you would have thrown that bomb, that could have made the difference. But you didn't, so you couldn't lock anyone down. You end up getting caught there. You end up losing. It was a really good game, but you do end up losing. So overall, decent play. I like your tank play. Your Winston, your decision making to change to the Winston was really good. You need to focus on your situation awareness and making your decisions to when to jump, for example, when to bubble, and just knowing where to be. A lot of that comes with practice. Like your positional stuff, you can definitely work on. Just watching through this VOD again will help you, or if anyone's looking for positional help, there's lots of things that you can do positionally that can make the difference of climbing just in positioning. You don't need to be mechanically a god, but proper positioning is huge. So I'm going to leave it at that. Work on your positioning, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, whatever you want. Leave me a comment. I'm BboneCapone. I hope you guys have a great day.